Hi, my name is Sky, and this is an idea for a tabletop role-playing game, RPG, D&D campaign, sort of long form. Um, it's just something, an idea I was kicking around, and just looking over in particular, the spells and some of the mechanics of the game, and at least and some of the ideas that you can play around with. Um, Take a 20th level wizard and, uh, in a way, have him geared towards healing, and as well as a sort of crowd control, sort of like what sort of spells can he cast on a group of people, and the narrative of the campaign would be so this wizard at 20th level or close to 20th level, whatever, having traveled, campaigned all over, met a lot of people, made friends, finds himself leading basically refugees, a caravan of people. And I thought of this years ago, actually. But have him leading a caravan of people, sort of Native American Trail of Tears style, or even Mao Zedong in China leading his, the communists from one part of China to another part, and then another place. Like, 1 out of 10 people survive. This like crazy, horrendous march of humanity, and sort of, if I'm trying to think of what literature to read to get ideas on the plight of the people. And I was inspired as well by the film Defiance, with the Jews up in Poland, just like living out in the woods, and yeah, just figuring out how to survive. To organize into a camp in such a way, and just like, how do you have everything that you need to survive and be organized and understand, like, this is what happens here and there. And since people live in traveling caravans all the time, nomadic tribal people, even to this day, it would be commonplace. So in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, have it that this wizard finds himself leading a caravan of refugees, people who, because the world was in cataclysm, is one scenario we're thinking of. Or I was thinking of with this one gentleman I was creating this idea of. So the world is being rebuilt, or at least trying to be rebuilt, Mad Max style. So strongmen, and in the case of this wizard, he's going to have this group of people who he realized, okay, I can lead and provide for these people, and so that's where some of these spells come in. And in particular, I was thinking of. So could you get to the point of using antipathy and sympathy? But that's a certain extreme. But I think that it's casting certain spells for a suggestion, because part of the end goal of the campaign is for the wizard to obtain a deity level status, or start becoming a god. And the reason why is because by leading these people, and I'll get there in a moment. So you're casting spells. What are the spells you're using? How are you using these spells? To what effect? So are you healing people like every day? So that's one of the things, because one of the mechanics is, like, if you cast a spell at a place for 30 days, it becomes permanent, or a year becomes permanent. So what about in the cases of, like, all right, so now you have this person, like, well, they have all this power and they can affect a lot of people, and so healing people halfway through the day, they're exhausted from whatever circumstances, and they have to run, they have to go further, and you cast a spell, like, gives them that extra energy. And what if, like, they're very down and out, they're demoralized, they can't move, and he uses a spell just to command them, move, get up that mountain, don't stop, and just to push these people to whatever feats for survival. Um, because the end result is, say, a year or however long, doing these things and just providing for these people. It binds the people to the wizard. The wizard becomes, you know, uh, yeah, sort of the wizard king of the people. So, uh, to keep the campaign interesting, then so after a year, I guess, and different people, different races, coming together, surviving together, like under unusual circumstances of all things. But he's able to interact with all of these people, all these races, all these different backgrounds, and sort of rewrite the narrative of these people. Now, they get to the point of it's time to settle. It's time to we can find a place to live, to survive. The concept I'm thinking of is they go up into a mountain, find a valley, and build a city up there. And at the mountaintop becomes home for either like a royal palace, but in particular a magic academy and place for airships and stuff. So that way, right below it, you have this, amazing city growing and developing, with access to tunnels, dwarven, who knows, whatever. And in those tunnels, you can have the different Underdark races. So the Drow, dark gnomes, and Duergar, and dwarves, and it's just like, let them go for it, see what but they're not automatically going to kill people, and so like you can have this interesting cosmopolitan city, grows and develops there. It has a ruling council that provides some political intrigue for the players to interact with, and different departments, because now they're creating a city. So what are the different scenarios that can be involved in there? As the city grows, then their surrounding landscape, they make neighbors, they make alliances, and with upstart kingdoms around them, they realize like, well, hey, this city up here, they have all these different skilled people who are able to produce all these goods, good trading place, location. So old roads start coming to this location, and these allied tribes, communities, they become the buffers. They protect her. So you can, if possible, if you're interested, enter into a war game scenario where, like, okay, now you're sort of conquering the land around you. Anyways, so misadventures of the city is like, now you go out to rescue different tribes, races, people, whatever, communities, who knows what going on around the multi dimensions, to rescue people, bring them back, add to the population and skills and whatever wealth of the city you're growing and developing. And once the player or the wizard dies, conceivably, or reaches a certain age, like, okay, now you can ascend into a godhood status. So that allows, all right, whatever mechanic of, because the people in the D&D world, it would be, you would create a cult for a leader, and worship that leader and like say, hey, you were great, thank you for what you did for us, and we praise your memory, you're going to live on. And so this guy now can manifest as a spirit in the community and do stuff. So and I'm kind of going by there's a guy on YouTube, AJ, I forget his complete thing right now, but he does great collections of information on Dungeons and Dragons. So thank you for that. That's part of why I'm getting the idea of this. So how would the wizard go then to a godhood status, and keep acquiring power, and but also manufacture, like create a community, a new community of different people, and that way allows different races, cross species, whatever, and pollination of different ideas and stuff. Because ultimately it's the city that would have all these different things going on in it. That would be the goal, like create that city now you get to interact in that city and just have fun with it. So that's my idea for the campaign.